Okay, so right now I'm going to show you a few additional things that actually may be useful. So first, let's focus on typography, especially when it comes to logo design. Typography is the most important thing. So let's just add something like this, company name. Let's change the font to different one, something like this. And just to see everything more clear, I will change the color to yellow, or maybe this darker, maybe that's orange. Orange would be visible a little bit better. So right now I've typed my company name. I will duplicate this layer with Shift, and this is important. I will right click and click on create outlines. So as you can see, those two layers look exactly the same at the first glance, but if I click on the one on top, you can see the underline in here, and if I click in here, there is no underline. What you are able to see actually is all the letters were converted to standard vector objects. So right now we can do with those layers exactly the same what we did with the rectangles and others, other elements. So we are able to modify, use direct tool and modify how our elements behave. So we can, for example, make the C a little bit bigger. So how is it? How could this be applied? So let's try just to select only those options from my letter. So I got my letter C. I will use direct selection tool. I will select few of my elements. I will put my text, put my layer with the letter C right next to the letter Y. So this way I will make this like closed. Let's grab also these elements, and maybe let's put this in here, and we can grab those elements and put them in here. So if we would like to do something similar maybe with letter N, we can grab those elements and once again something similar, so something like this, and the same on top. So right now I've selected too much, so I need to grab only those two anchor points, those two elements, those two anchor points, and move my layer like this. So this was our starting layer, so just the standard font layer, and this is font that we have modified in a few different ways to achieve some interesting results. So let's use the same, let's use actually the same company name, but let's make another approach to logo. Let's create 3 different ones, like really simple, really basic, but including all of the different tools that we've learned. So maybe let's try to put it in a circle. So let's create ellipse. Let's click on type tool, but I will select type on path tool. I will click company in here, and I want to have a company name at the bottom. So let's maybe use the same color, and I would like to start with placing company in the center. So right now, as you can see, there are different alignment of text. So different alignment of text. If I click align center, it will align it to the center, so it will be aligned to this controller. So I can grab this controller and modify where actually the word goes. Also, there are like additional controllers in here. So just maybe let's put them in here. So right now you can see 3 controllers. The one with the arrow to the right, the one with arrow to the left, arrow to the left, and the one on top. So if I click on left, center and right, we are able to actually modify how our how we can see how our word behaves in here. So I kind of like how it looks right now. I will make it bigger because probably we have much more space, and I don't want to have too much of empty space. We will put some elements probably to make it look better, but right now let's just make the word a little bit bigger. So this is the first part of our design, and the second part I want to have the second word. So in my case, company name. So I will just type name. I'm not changing font. I want to stick to the same, in my case, to the same font, just to show you the tools. So I will put it like this. So right now, generally, I can move this element in here. So what we can see is we've got two layers that are actually created on the separate paths. So we've got one path for the word company and the second path for the word name, but generally the size of a path is the same. But actually, if we would like to put it in the circle, let me show you what kind of problem we will find. So I will just create a circle. Okay, let's maybe change it for a moment to blue one. Let's put it in here. Let's right click, arrange, send to back. So right now we have something like this, and maybe let's make the circle smaller, like if we want to have the circle in the center. So right now let's put all those, because the nothing is right now aligned together. So I will just select all the layers, and we've got alignment option in here. So I can click this option, I can click this option. So right now every layer is aligned together. But as you can see, the part of our logo called name is inside our selection, and the company is outside our selection. So the only way to actually make it work is to make the circle a little bit bigger and to match these elements together. But unfortunately, my font also changed the size. So what I can do, I can grab this font, I can click color picker, and I can select this one. So this way we've created something that will match a little bit better. So right now, as you can see, everything is aligned to the same element. Although it's not working perfectly, the problem with this is probably the word name is too short. So if there will be other option, this would look better, and right now we would have some place in the center, like to put some element. And as you can see, like not always everything would work perfectly, even though everything is aligned to the circle. Like I've mentioned before, it's not looking perfect. So maybe let's try to make some small changes, maybe it will help. So the problem that I see is that some of the letters go below in here, like letters P and Y, which is normal. Some of the letters go higher, like letter N or letter C. So even though the layers are aligned together, they are not looking perfect. So what we can do is we can change, we can select those two layers, go to character, so click on character, and change every letter to capital. So I need to do the same with the company. So character, company. Okay, so it's already looking a little bit better. So right now we can just get rid of the name. Okay, so this is our first step. Maybe let's add a circle around it. So I will just create a circle. I will click in here. So right now, like by clicking in here, I'm switching fill with stroke. So just by doing something like this, quite simple. I can put it in the center. So once again, I will select everything, and I will make sure that everything is aligned to the center. So okay, so right now it's looking much more interesting, like when compared to what was done before. I still have a problem with those empty spaces. So what I can do is I can try to duplicate this layer. Maybe let's change the size for a moment, put it back in the center. Okay, maybe let's make it so something like this. What I do not like at this point is actually so what I would like to achieve is to have those lines somewhere in here, just to fill the gap, because the gap looks strange. So what I can do, like by by intuition we will click eraser tool and make something like this. But as you can see, it causes us problem because we have not deleted the elements that we wanted. We've just like modified completely our path. So our path right now goes like this circle, and if we use eraser, we are not erasing the parts of the path, we're just creating something different. So why is this happening? This is happening because we have used a stroke, but what we can do is we can convert the stroke to standard fill. So I will go to object, click on expand and click on OK, just OK. So as you can see, I will click Ctrl Z. Right now we have a yellow or yellow, let's call it a yellow stroke and no fill. If I go to object, click expand, and just look what's happening in here, click on OK. We have no stroke right now, but we have yellow fill. So if I would use my eraser right now, it will actually erase those elements correctly. So this way we've created. I should probably do it more careful. So maybe let's just correct it a little bit. And normally I will like play with it a little bit more to make it perfect. But just for now, we have created the second approach. We needed to use some different elements, but it still is working fine. Maybe what I just thought about, if we can, like, I will duplicate this layer, and just to show you another function, we can right click and there is this option called transform, and we've got few different options in here, like reflect. So this will allow us to reflect. So if we would like to have like some small reflection of our typography, we could add with it. But I want to use actually different options. So I will click to transform, shear, and do additional things. So let's maybe use 6 points of shear, and nothing is happening because preview is not checked. If I click check, I will on preview, I will see the preview. I will click on OK, and this way we've modified, like we've added this like like everything is a little bit leaned to the right, so we can rotate it, and right now we've got this more dynamic version of the same actually company name. So right now we've got one, two, well, okay, so I will treat this as one proposition. This would be the second one, and let's try once again using only this font and only basic tool achieve something completely different. Before I will do the third approach, I need to mention about one more tool. So the tool is called Pathfinder tool. So it's one of the most important tools in Adobe Illustrator. So right now I will just create two separate layers, two separate objects. So maybe let's change the color to red. So right now I've got two separate objects. So Pathfinder tool actually allows me to change how the paths that are creating those objects intersect with one another. So as you can see, just for a moment I will disable the colors. We've got two paths. One is creating the rectangle and one is creating the star. Let me bring back the colors. And the Pathfinder is available in here, but you cannot see all the tools in here. So, and if for some reason it's not available in your version of Illustrator, you can go to Window and you can go to Pathfinder options. So right now we can see the whole Pathfinder. So first option is called Unite. If I let me just put it in here and duplicate the layers. So first option, Unite, it will merge those two separate objects in one layer and in one object in one path. So right now, as you can see, if we take a closer look at the path, we will be able to actually see that, let me use direct selection tool, that it just created from those two paths, it merged everything into one path. So this was the first option, Unite. The second option would be minus front. So if I click on it, it will delete the object in front from the object in the back. Third option, exclude. It's third option, sorry, not exclude, it's a intersect. So it leaves only the common space, the rest is deleted. The fourth option is opposite of it. So let's just click it. So as you can see, it removes the common space. And actually, the last thing that I want to show you that is important in my opinion is the divide option. So if I click on divide option, like I did, so nothing changed if you take a closer look, but what I can do right now, so let me show you, nothing has changed right on the, when we look at it. But if I click on it, right click and click on ungroup, it created objects separately. So this gives us a lot of interesting opportunities. Just let me show you like one simple thing. So I will just create a rectangle, I will rotate the rectangle 45 degrees, I will duplicate the layer with the rectangle. Maybe let's create another one and let's put it somewhere in here. So we've got 3 rectangles. If we want to make sure that every rectangle is in the same spot, what we can do is actually use this tool. So right now we have something like this, and we can click on this option divide. Right click, ungroup elements, and we can just delete part of our that we, let's say, we don't want to use. So maybe not the one in the center, but I would like to get rid of those and get rid of those. So just like quick step to create some interesting shapes. There are different ways to do it. So for example, once again, I can create rectangle, I can rotate it, I can put 3 rectangles. Let's make sure that they are aligned together, so they are aligned together. And we've got another tool that is strictly strictly connected with the Pathfinder tool. It's working quite similarly. Shape builder. So if I click on the shape builder, right now I can click on this, so I've created separate shape. I can click in here and I've created separate shape. I can deselect everything, and once again let's click on delete, and let's click on delete. So by using different tools, so this shape builder tool, I've created similar object to the one that I've made before. Okay, so how we can actually use this to create our company name logo. So maybe let's once again company, let's put it like this. Maybe this time let's disable capital letters to have standard, also standard letters. I think I had a caps lock on, so let me check it. Okay, I had caps lock on. Okay, so we've got company name. Let's duplicate. Let's try to use the same color. Right click to create outlines. Okay, maybe before we do outlines, let me show you what may happen if we do not do it. So I will just create one rectangle, put my typography, give it white color, and let's just put it in here. So right now I cannot see anything because my rectangle is on top, so I will right click, arrange, send to back. So this way we have something like this. Probably the capital letters would look better, but I will stick to what I said before, so I will not use capital letters. Maybe let's try to adjust the size in some interesting way, whether it will work for us or not. Okay, so let's assume that we want to have this as a logo. It's not super interesting, but it's looking fine. It's looking fine when it's on a white background. It's losing a little bit of its charm in here because we can see that all those elements are sticking out. So what I would like to do is I would like to cut all those letters or this name in the rectangle that is in the back. So we already know the tool. It's called minus front, but if I select and click, nothing is happening. this is not happening, this is not working because this layer is a still text layer, and to work correctly with our to work correctly in Pathfinder, we need to have shape layers. So to convert it font to shape, we just need to, we already know, but I will just explain once again. Right click, create outlines, select everything, and click in here minus front. So this way we have a minus front, and this way we've created our third approach with the same font and actually using the same colors and stuff. Not super interesting things, but still serving their purpose. So the same font but 3 different approaches. Your task would be similar. You have to create 3 different logos, but of course you can use different fonts to make them even more different. Like my goal was just to show you how the tools are working, but I will tell you about designing the logos a little bit more in a different video.